Hello and welcome to the Criminally Mental Podcast. My name is Kody, or Schizophrenic Hippie, and I am live from a hotel, not a psych ward.
And I'm Zac Galloway, and I am both of the pretty best friends. And here to introduce the show is the friend of our show, host of the VTN network, Dead Man.
Welcome to the Criminally Mental Podcast, where we talk about mental health and the criminal justice system with your two hosts, Kody Green and Zac Galloway, currently both on parole and compassionate release. Now, here's the show.
I would listen to that man read the label of a wart remover medicine, and I would be enthralled. I just want to throw that out there.
Every single time.
Because it's magic.
It is.
Fine,
it
whatever.
truly is. Unfortunately, we're going to be starting this episode with some not so magic talk. We will be getting into two truths and a lie just in a little bit. But before we talk about that, we need to talk about a more touchy, uncomfortable situation with someone here on TikTok. And I'm going to let Zac kind of introduce what we're talking about before we get into our podcast-related material.
And just a warning to anybody tuning into this. We do have excerpts from an actual DM conversation that he had with a 15-year-old girl, and they are fairly graphic. So trigger warning to people who are sensitive to that sort of thing. We're not going to be offended if you just sit this one out or just come back in 15, 20 minutes. It'll be over, but this is something we need to address. As you guys, I'm sure, know, on this show, the Criminally Mental Podcast, we talk about a lot of things. And, of course, the health and welfare of our followers is really important. Today, I made a post on TikTok just calling out a couple child predators that were on TikTok, one of which was Eric B. Zink. And he's been well documented, and we're going to read some of that real quick just with his inappropriate conversations. But then he decided, I was going to leave it at that, but then he decided to fire back with, quote unquote, exposing my record. My record's public record. I've already told everyone that I was charged with indecent exposure. I never got convicted because I was willing to sit in county jail for months to fight that. It was a complete bullshit charge, but that's fine. I've already talked about that. It doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that this man, Eric B. Zink, is still on TikTok. He's still on YouTube, and he has a following, and he's pretending to be a mental health advocate when he's doing some pretty disgusting things. Does that sound about right, Kody?
Yeah, and that's just the thing. You know, we talked about discussing this, and we really looked at the pros and cons. But as people who do talk about mental health, me being a motivational speaker and a mental health advocate, and Zac being, a prison advocate and a prison reform advocate, this is really serious, especially when he took advantage of people in a really vulnerable state. And as soon as anyone has something to say about it, he blocks them. He blocked me back in October when I was out in Pennsylvania with Colin Ray. I made a few videos about it, and he immediately blocked me. And my videos weren't attacking him. It was just letting people know that he was on the platform, he was misusing the platform, and he was taking advantage of minors.
And it's a pretty cowardly thing because he's blocked both you and me. And then he has gone on. I don't know if he's made any videos about you, but he's made numerous videos about me. Like he just posted a apology video, quote unquote, where he calls me a junkie and calls me a bunch of other things, which is fine. Admittedly, I've been a junkie most of my life. You can't. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you can really hit me with that I haven't already said myself. So that's fine. But it's a pretty cowardice move to not only prey upon, innocent children on this app, and then when anyone has the audacity to call you out, he's mass reported my videos. He's trying to get me taken down. He's trying to get, someone in the comments right now, Eric is making videos about both of you. So
I didn't know he made anything about me, so that's news to me, actually.
Yeah, we're both gonna get backlash from this. So anyone listening, we'd appreciate your support. We're just trying to do what's best for this community because this is someone that I don't think should have access to so many impressionable youths who are in a state where they need mental health. They need an advocate. And here comes this predator along who just says, hey, I'm all these things. And then kind of turns it into something really gross, which, we can get into if you want. You want to do that?
Well, let me just stop here for a minute because we did have a few people in the chat here. I lost the comment, but we have someone who's actually a doctor or a psychiatrist. I forget his username, but he actually went to the police about this back in like October. There are several psychiatrists and doctor, like people in the mental health field who have brought this to the police's attention. And so this isn't something that me and Zac are just like wanting to get into. It's something that 1.7 million of his followers might not be aware of. So it's something that, I don't know, I feel like as advocates, we almost have a responsibility to talk about it, especially when he's been blatantly, now he's deleting people, blocking people, deleting comments about it. And he's trying to go on like nothing ever happened, which is completely unacceptable.
I mean, the reality is we have an obligation if we are who we say we are. And at the end of the day, we're people who come on here every week to you guys talking about mental health, talking about prison reform, talking about all the things that we want changed in the society. We have to address this issue. This is not a personal response from either me or Kody about anything he said about us, because both of our shit's already out there. Y'all already know. You guys know what we've done. You guys know it. You know what we're about. We're not responding to his allegations because they've been addressed. What we're doing is we're going to inform you about the real life things he's done. We've been one of his victims actually just reached out to us. We weren't able to talk to him in enough time to actually like get them on the show or read a statement. But this is a very real issue, and everyone needs to know. And please inform other people about this, or just do your part in this, because we all have a job to do on this. So.
Well, and while we're talking about this, I think it's really important to talk about that he's not the only one on TikTok who has been caught. And I know your post was specifically about him and Tony Lopez, both of which, this isn't even like a conspiracy theory. Like, it's been out there. The news has already been like, it's well known at this point. And it's just not okay in a community where there is a lot of minors, and there are a lot of people who look up to people, shockingly, like you and me. But just in general, they look up to the people of the videos they're watching. And me and Zac can't just sit by and not say anything when he's still using his platform as a mental health advocate. And as a mental health advocate, I find it absolutely disgusting and unacceptable. And people keep asking why TikTok hasn't taken down any of his stuff. It's probably just because it hasn't had anything to do with TikTok. He hasn't tied any videos to it. He's been really as quiet as possible about it. And that's what we're trying to stop.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, guys who do this sort of thing, the guys who groom children, the guys who prey on children, they're very fucking smart, and they're really good at hiding things. I mean, we have some of his responses to when he got found out and exposed. I mean, we're calling this an expose, but really it's nothing nobody else hasn't said already. This shit's been known. And we're going to read some of his responses to when he got found out that are just embarrassing. But this is something that across the board, you have two guys sitting in front of you right now. We are literally the bottom of the barrel of society, a schizophrenic and an ex-con drug addict. We've done time. We've done horrible things. And if we're telling you guys, that this shit is fucked up and needs to stop, you should probably listen.
Well, and that's just the thing. We're not claiming to be perfect by any means. We have made our own mistakes. We've, and I'm completely for being able to, have a second chance when it comes to things like what we've been charged with, addiction, stuff like that. But I draw the line at taking advantage of people who can't defend themselves, like children and, mentally ill or physically disabled, mentally disabled. It's really where I draw the line, especially when that person just tries to go back like nothing happened. It's really unacceptable, and we can't just let it happen. So I'm going to let Zac read. I don't know if you want to start by reading his comments, and then we can read his response after that.
Let's read his comments first. Okay, so this is an Instagram DM conversation that a 15-year-old girl got in contact with him because she was looking for a mental health advocate. She was looking for someone to help her out, and Eric B. Zink extended his hand of quote unquote friendship. This is his DM conversation with him. And again, if you're kind of squeamish towards some of it because it is a little, expletive, feel free to tune out for a minute. So Eric says, "Do you stink?" She replied, "LOL, I'm in bed." Which he responded with, "Do you need to take a shower? Do your pits smell? Does your butt smell worse when you fart?" And then she responded, "Haha, for fuck's sake." And then he replied with, "Well, there's no fucking if you smell bad. Also, no babies." So that was his DM conversation with a 15-year-old girl. And if you guys want to see the DMs, go to Papa Gut's video on YouTube. Papa Gut Expose, Eric B. Zink. You can see it for yourself. It's not like we're just pulling this out of thin air. So as you can see, there's really you can't justify that. I mean, you can't.
I can't.
I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone should try to justify it.
Yeah, if you at any point in time, if you say to a 15-year-old, "Well, there's no fucking if you smell bad, also no babies," no, dog, you're done. You're done. This is not okay. And that's someone who came to him expecting help because they were mentally unstable. That's the tragedy here. That's the real fucking. And then we'll go on. Oh, sorry, you're gonna say something, Kody? Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just wanted to address how inappropriate it is because he had his cell phone number out on TikTok and on his YouTube for anyone to be able to message. And honestly, like Zac said when this started, people who take advantage of kids are very smart. And he thought ahead. He put his number out there, and then it's easy pickings. He can really talk to anyone who sends him a message. And he's internet famous. I don't think people realize how often people get weird around me or Zac just for being popular on TikTok. He has the same thing. People look at him as almost a celebrity. And when you're a 15-year-old kid, I'm sure that means a lot more. And that's why this conversation is so important.
It's really disgusting. And someone in the comment, yeah, Papa Guts is definitely on this too. So he got exposed, like we said, on very numerous platforms. People called him out on TikTok. If you look at the hashtag Eric B. Zink exposed, all of this information's on there. And then he did probably the most half-assed apology I think a pedophile has ever done. And these were some of his responses. These are direct quotes from his apology video and apology statement. "First of all, we're coming out the gate with a strong one. I take the blame, but I was in active addiction."
That one bothers me so much.
That bothers me to an amazing degree. I've done enough heroin to kill Kurt Cobain 4 times. I've never creeped on a 15-year-old boy. That's
back when I started having hallucinations, I've used pretty much every drug under the sun and stars, and never once did I think, hey, I should also go take advantage of children while I'm doing these drugs. And then he also, after the fact, he's trying to use he has a new diagnosis he's trying to use as an excuse, and he'll literally use anything to get out of it at this point, and it's getting to be really disgusting. And we can say that as mentally ill addicts too, because Here we are, and we never used it to take advantage of people either.
I mean, it casts all people who have a mental illness. If you have a mental illness of any kind, a diagnosis, or you struggle with addiction, it should piss you off that this man is trying to use that as a cover for being a child predator. That's an excuse for him. That should make you mad. That should absolutely make you mad, because it's putting you in the same boat as him because you have that diagnosis. So that's something to keep in mind. Moving on to his second, we're going to call these the greatest hits of Eric B. Zink apologies. Moving on to the second one. "I've learned that I can't talk to everyone like an adult." Genius, Eric. That's a genius statement. I'm going to tell you right now, though, Eric, if you ask me if my butt smelled worse when we fart, I'm an adult. I probably would have knocked you out. I don't think you should talk to anybody like that.
I don't think so either.
I'm trying to think of a situation where that statement would be called for. But hey. And then moving on to his third, and in my opinion, the grand finale of his apology, it was, "I admit this was inappropriate, but we all say inappropriate things. and you can take anything out of context.
I really hate how in today's world of technology and everything, that's the go-to for everyone anymore. They're like, well, anything can be taken out of context. I'm like, yeah, but also sometimes it is what it is. When you're looking at something, sometimes that's exactly what it is. And I've seen more than just the, Instagram. There was a psychiatrist who shared like his full story, and they showed everything leading up to it. And it's not just that one, like,
No. There's so much, and we don't want to make this entire show about him.
No.
We just wanted to do this in the beginning, get this out there, wanted to put his name down there so you guys would know, so we could do the responsible thing and inform you. Because basically, I can't think of any context that asking I can't think of a context where asking a 15-year-old if their butt smells worse than they fart, and then telling them that there's no fucking unless you smell good. Like that's I just can't wrap my mind around that.
There isn't one. That's why. There's no excuse for it. And that's why he hasn't been talking about it, because he knows that. His wife left him shortly after all this went down. And the reason he's not talking about it is because he knows he doesn't have a good defense. He knew that after he made his poor ass apology videos. He realizes that he doesn't have any ground to stand on here, which is why he's refusing to talk about it, and why he's probably calling us out now for trying to bring it back up.
Yeah, and he's going to do that, and that's fine. Like we've talked about it. We've weighed the risks. The reality is, the great thing about who we are, other than his looks and my demeanor, is that we've already called ourselves out. Both of us. We've already been out there. Our records are public. I've shown my paperwork on TikTok so many times, it's not even funny. He thinks he did something by showing my mugshots. Man, I did that video like a couple weeks ago? Like I did that myself. So we know we're going to get some backlash from him, and that's fine. That means that we hit a nerve, and this is all he's got. That's all he's got. Yeah. So there's your little bit of information. Arm yourself with knowledge. This is someone that you should be aware of, especially if you have children who are on TikTok. Especially if you have children that are on TikTok. Eric B. Zink should not be there.
Well, and that's what disappoints me, because you shouldn't have to look out for mental health creators. And I think that's what bothers me so much, is now parents who saw their kids on mental health TikTok, saw me and psychiatrists and other amazing creators, now has to keep an eye out for someone like Eric. And like, it's hard enough to be a mental health advocate and creator and be able to talk about really sensitive topics, because I've talked about really sensitive topics with my suicidal tendencies, my schizophrenia, my addiction. And then you have someone who has experienced those things, but then tries to use it as an excuse for unacceptable behavior towards minors. And that's really, I think, why I wanted to address this. And I know it's also why you wanted to talk about this as well.
And that's a good point. Here's something that I think maybe we should talk about, and kind of not just make you guys aware, but maybe arm yourself with a little bit of a defense quality. Here's some red flags to look out for fake mental health creators that could be potentially preying on you. If their first option is say, hey, DM me, if they're not, like out the door, if it's, hey, send me a private message, that could be a red flag. I mean, I don't know about you, Kody. Like, how many times have you invited someone underage into your DMs?
Honestly, and most of my followers can attest to this, I don't really talk to anyone one-on-one. I get emails and DMs a lot. Very rarely do I've reached out to a few people who are really struggling, that have been like on the brink of hurting themselves. Other than that, and it's nothing disrespectful. I can't, as a mental health advocate, help every single person out there, let alone know who's in a really sensitive state and probably shouldn't be talking to a complete stranger. And so I really don't get to talk to as many people as I would like to. And that's just part of being a mental health advocate. The way he put his phone number out publicly was a red flag for me from the beginning. The first time I saw his page, I'll admit I followed him. I thought what he was doing was interesting, but I did think it was weird. He was constantly allowing people to text him. And you can follow tons of mental health creators. They're not doing that. And I think that's what appealed to the younger people, was that he was open to talk and he was willing to talk to anyone, or so he claimed, so anyone could message him. And I really think that's how he was able to, have that pool of people to talk to and take advantage of. And it's really disgusting that, we didn't see it from the beginning, because that is weird for a mental health advocate to do.
Well, I mean, you got to remember that the people who do this are good at doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally their craft. Child predators, pedophiles, they're so incredibly good at it. That's why they'll get caught. Aaron will not enjoy yourself. But until that time, they're good. They're good up until the point they get caught. And it's a great point you brought up with the phone number right in the bio. Like, we have accountability, Kody and I.
Yeah.
Not only we share an email account for the show. So if you're never talking to just one of us. That's just not how it works. Additionally, like my boyfriend, helps me handle my Instagram DMs, has my password. I'm sure your wife also is a part of everything you do. If at any time someone is like immediately kind of trying to get you into a place where it's just one-on-one and they don't have MD before or after their name, that's definitely a red flag. So
no offense to the doctors out there, even if they have MD in their name, if they're trying to reach out to you on a public platform like TikTok to one-on-one message you, I mean, unless it's your doctor, I would check with a parent or someone before you go into that. And that's the thing, is like, me and Zac had to stop and remember that we do have a lot of young followers. And so that's why this conversation was so important too.
And it kind of brought up I thought about it, and like, man, we do have a very young following. And, I know I'm going to have to take a step back and really think about like maybe my social responsibility with some of the shit that I say, man, to being real, being fully transparent. Like, I think I may have to consider that.
I don't know, man. Is your content kind of pushing a line? It's hard to tell. But yours is more like language, I think, and how you say things. I don't think you're ever inherently inappropriate. So I think you say things you don't need to say, but it's a very different ballgame. But I like that you realize, like you just said 2 minutes ago, we do have that accountability. There's been videos where I post it and I take it down several minutes later where I'm like, I don't need to say this, or, I don't need to target someone, or it's always something. And having that accountability on a platform that's really easy to grow on, like TikTok, is super important. And if he's saying, like, his apology was him saying he can't have that accountability, then he should not have the platform.
It's ridiculous. That is such a ridiculous claim to say you can't have that accountability. I mean, you and I share a TikTok account, that both of us view. Literally before we put up any video, or even before we contact a guest, if it's me talking to the guest, I'll go to Kody and be like, hey man, I'm going to have this conversation. That's the importance of accountability. So there's no things being done in the dark. Everything done in the dark will eventually be brought to the light. And when it does, Eric B. Zink, you're going to be fucked.
Yeah.
Like you are. Just how it goes down.
And I don't want to give this guy any more time. I'm glad we were able to talk about this. And I appreciate Zac being willing to talk about this, because I know he's been recently apparently he called me out too, is what someone in the comments just said. But I feel like we had to address it, and I'm glad we spent some time chatting about it, but I don't want to give him any more time.
So why don't we shift gears here? You know something cool that just happened? Well, last week? We got merch.
We did get merch, and we're both really excited about it. And I had a lot of fun setting up the website. So if you guys didn't tune in last week, you'll know that I put some fun stuff on our merch website. And you can find the link in both my bio, Zac's bio, and the Criminally Mental podcast bio. And Zac, did you put it in your bio yet?
Why would you put me on blast like that, Kody?
Because I just saw your face when I said that, and I could tell that maybe you didn't do that yet.
Okay, in my defense, I have a super good reason. I have a super good reason.
Okay.
I forgot.
And I expected nothing less. Okay, so you can find the link in my bio, the Criminally Mental bio, and as soon as we are done with the podcast today, you will be able to find it in Zach's bio as well. But
quick shout out. Equipping any of the hoodies or t-shirts actually gives you +5 strength and charisma. So keep that in mind when buying merch.
And the hats are another +2 in charisma. So
that's true. The hats are nice, dude. Our merch is like, honestly, I was looking at it the other day. It's very nice. Nice quality merch.
I love the sweatshirts. They have an inner pocket inside the big pocket, and I don't know why I like it so much. It's just it's just nice. It's nice merch. But definitely check it out. We're really excited about it. We've already made a few sales, and yeah, we just appreciate the support. It allows us to keep doing stuff like this and keep talking about, difficult things, funny things, everything, and that's what we're here for.
Well, that's what you're here for. I mean,
Zach's just here to make fun of me, really.
It's on the list. It's on the list of things to do. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Oh, someone said Zach that Eric turned off all his comments since we started this.
Nice, love it. You guys are doing it. You're doing it. That's what we like. We love you guys. We have some of the best. Some of the best group here, man. You guys are so awesome. The support you give us, I mean, obviously, mainly me, but is just fantastic, and we appreciate it. I appreciate it. Kody doesn't matter. He's secondary.
Yeah. Anyways,
Kody. By the way, isn't today a special day of some sort for somebody?
Yes. Today is a really special day. It is my wife's birthday, and we're gonna throw that in. Woo! Say hi.
Woo!
So,
hey, Allison.
Yeah, she's got a birthday shirt on today. So, but yes, happy birthday to my wife. She made that shirt, so it's very cool.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're really excited. That's why I'm at a hotel right now, not my office. So apologies if the audio isn't quite matching up to how nice it usually is. But yeah, we are going to get into some more fun stuff and or some actual fun stuff. Sorry, we were dealing with rough stuff to begin with there. We're going to turn a little bit away from the sad, depressing, terrible stuff that's going on. And we're going to talk about our sad, depressing, terrible back stories. So
it's true. It's true.
If you guys were here,
I just wanted to point out that I get Wingman of the Year for bringing Allison's birthday to your attention.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. I do appreciate it. And thank you to everyone in the comments who is saying happy birthday. She is adorable. But yeah, so if you guys were here for our very first episode, we played a little game called 2 Truths and 1 Lie, where we both lost and had to do the WAP dance. Today, we are going to play 2 Truths and 1 Lie Incarceration Edition, which basically just means we're going to share 3 stories. 2 will be true, 1 will be false, and the other person needs to figure out which one is false. Now, Zach chose what the loser will do, or if we both lose, what we will do. I don't know what it is yet. So, Zach, what are we looking at for a consequence here today?
You're going to have to shave your beard because I'm tired of looking at it.
Allison's not going to be happy about this.
She's never happy. She's married to you.
Okay. But yes, that's a good one. I like that. It'll be weird seeing you without facial hair. I'm kind of excited. It'll be interesting to see once you inevitably lose. I mean, you did lose last time, so.
Okay, we mutually lost last time. That's not fair. It's a mutual lose. You can't put that on me.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you have stories ready, or is this going to be another Zacharias, Phoebe Gallowop wing it moment?
That's silly. You know that I have no other mode than that. But yeah, so let's get started. All right, so 3 stories, yeah?
Yep, and I'll let you do the first story, and then we're going to question each other at the very end, not in between each story.
Okay, fair enough. While I was, when I first got into intake at Maricopa, I was going through really bad withdrawals, as I've mentioned before. But what I haven't mentioned is that I was actually having seizures so badly that I got taken to the hospital from the county jail, which is really a big thing. Because like normally they have like an infirmary at the county jail where they monitor you. Well, they kind of just watch you. But mine were so bad, and I was having so many seizures time and time and time again, that the first 2 weeks of my stay, well, a week and a half of my stay, was actually in the county hospital. I was chained to a bed. I had a friggin' detention officer there at all times. So that is my first story.
Okay. That is pretty unlikely for you to get rushed to a hospital from a county jail, but I have heard of it one other time. So interesting.
Your turn.
Interesting. So my first story, I'm going to change mine. Since you used that story, I had a story on the top of my head I wanted to use, and yours made me want to use it. So I actually had, back when my hallucinations first started, when I was in jail, I wasn't diagnosed, which you probably already know. When my hallucinations first started, they would get so overwhelming that I would have fainting spells, which if you've seen my videos, you also know is true. But I've never told the story. When I was in county, they had metal, those like 8-side metal tables with the seats attached to them.
Yeah, the little round seats.
Yeah, the ones where you play euchre on all the time. So I was sitting on one of those, and I was playing euchre, no joke, with my buddy Sean and 2 old DUI farmers. And I was looking at my cards, and my buddy Sean, he asked me, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I just kind of like looked at him. I felt fine, but apparently my face was like white out. And I don't remember anything. All I know is I woke up because I had hit my head on the table, on those metal tables. And so that pretty much blacked me out. And I was having a seizure because I used to faint when the voices would overwhelm me. And he caught my head before it hit the ground. He like managed to get, at least that's what Randy, the guard, told me. He got around and caught my head before it hit the concrete. I didn't get rushed out. They didn't even really bring me out of the cell. They just kind of checked on me in there. I was fine like 10 minutes afterwards. The worst part was just I had a big red spot on my head. But so that's my first story. And I only wanted to tell it because you told your seizure story, so I felt left out.
Fair enough. So why did they take you to medical, though? I mean, aren't they supposed to like rush you there right away, even if there's a minor thing?
I honestly don't know. I kind of wondered that once I woke up, but honestly, I think it's because I was like so adamant at being like, no, I'm fine. I didn't want to make a big deal about it. Because when something big like that happens, I don't know. I feel like it puts a target on you. Like you're an easy target, or like people they know you're like not at the best state of mind. I didn't really want to draw any additional attention to myself. I was still fairly new there. Like it was within the first couple weeks of being there. I was still nervous. I didn't really, so I just was like, yeah, I'm fine. As soon as I was conscious, I was like, I'm fine. I don't need anything. I'll just go sit on my bed and I'll be fine. So
you just pretty much denied medical treatment. You did the whole, makes sense. Okay. Not bad. Not bad, young blood. Not bad. Okay. So my turn then?
Yep.
Okay. So one of my hustles while I was inside was making hooch. I've mentioned that on TikTok before. Which if you don't know hooch, sometimes called Pruno, it's like a prison wine. It's fermented juice that turns into alcohol. It's kind of the worst thing on earth, to be honest with you. It's terrible. But, inmates drink it because what else are you going to do? I almost caught a charge because we had it was a sizable operation going on. We had about 50 oranges beneath our bunk at one point in time. And we had a raid that went down. And they knew we were making hooch. They just couldn't find it. We had other people, like, what we would do is we would have somebody hold the hooch while like raids were going on, or just at other parts of the day, like somebody from another pod or whatever. And so we would never really have it on us, but we had like 50 oranges beneath our bunk. And my cellie, Chucky, and I literally had to go before a disciplinary board and try to come up with a reason as to why we had 50 oranges beneath our bunk. And even though they interrogated us separately, we both came up with the same response, that we were really scared about getting scurvy.
No, you did not. Shut up. This is the lie. Shut up. You're so full of shit.
Go ahead. That's what you think.
You know, it's just crazy enough that it's hard to believe it would be a lie.
We literally did not talk about it before. And maybe we had a couple jokes about it, but we didn't coordinate that at all. But that was the story we stuck to. It didn't work, mind you, but that was definitely the story we both stuck to. I mean, they definitely still hit us with restriction. I didn't get commissary for like a month. It was bad. I mean, yeah.
I don't know, man. I got a lot of questions for that one. I'm coming back to that one because I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical.
Okay.
So my second one is actually about a time I almost got an additional charge while I was in. So while I was in county, I had privileges where I was able to go to do like the food stuff. And they allowed me to take like 1 day of work was like 8 hours of work was like 4 hours off of 1 day. I don't know. It was something stupid like that.
Right. The work program. I got you.
Yeah. So the 1 day I was in there, I filled a little bag of rice and put it in my pocket so I could make a hacky sack. So I took the bottom of a sock, cut it off underneath the sink. So it was just like the bottom part of the sock. Then I used a comb, needle, and I tied like some of the thread from the sock, put the rice in there, and I sewed it up and used it as a hacky sack. And when they found it, they thought that I brought it in from outside. They said it was contraband. And then I didn't say anything, but I'm lucky I didn't, because what they said was bringing it from the kitchen apparently also makes it contraband. Which I wasn't aware of. So I'm lucky I didn't out myself, because I was gonna be like, no, I didn't bring it in. I just brought it. But my buddy, Sean, he was in there for meth. He was the one who kind of defended me and said that we dried it underneath our bed from one of the meals we had. And he's the one who kind of saved my ass there. And they still took it away from me and said, don't make another one or you're going to get in trouble. And they took away, at the time I was doing work release. So they didn't let me go out for work release for like 2 days while it was getting resolved.
That makes sense. I've actually seen similar things happen. But you should know better than take anything from the kitchen, or at least get caught with taking anything from the kitchen. I mean,
but
really...
I did get caught taking it. I got caught once we were throwing the hacky sack around.
And it never occurred to you, like, they're gonna go like, where'd these fools get a hacky sack? That thought never passed your mind. Really.
You know what? That was 2015, Kody. He didn't really think ahead. He just kind of lived his life play by play, kind of like you do all the time.
It's a valid statement. It's valid as hell. Yeah, all right. That's okay. All right, so my turn?
Yeah. Last one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, last one. All right. So while I was in county one time, we got a new guy in. Really, really down to earth, seemed really mellow. First night in there, I decided I was going to go up and talk to him. Just seemed really chill. I walked up to him, asked him what his name was. He told me, I think it was something weird. I don't know, but that doesn't matter. I asked him what he was in for, and he didn't tell me right away. But he asked me if I knew a guy named Johansson, or I don't really remember what his last name was, but I'm using that, Johansson. And I was like, yeah, he's actually in this pod. It's that guy right there. And this guy got up immediately from dinner with his tray, went over, decked him in the head with it, took him to the ground, and just wholesale started beating his ass until the CEO showed up and took him off. It turned out that guy that he asked me to point out had actually raped his sister, and he had been locked up and was awaiting trial for that. And this guy was so fucking mad. He was so disturbed because he thought he was going to get off that he did some pissant crime in the hopes that he would make it to the same pod. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you'll get to the same pod while locked up. I mean, but he did that just hoping he would, and he actually got there. I mean, I never saw that cat again. He's probably still sitting there, but still, yeah. So that was a good one.
So let's talk about the odds of that, first of all. Let's talk about the sheer odds. So, okay, so in the jail I was in, there was two guys who weren't directly involved with the same crime, but were involved like through mutual friends. And the COs found out about that, or like I guess it was the officers found out about, told the COs, and they weren't allowed to cell together. The sheer odds. How big is the prison system in your area?
Oh, it's huge, gigantic.
How many pods were in your prison alone?
In my facility, there was 2 warehouses with 8 pods each, so 16.
Mm-hmm. Oh God. Oh man, I'm so torn because I really thought it was the last one, but like I believe that someone would do that. My problem is just the sheer odds of it seem unlikely for me. But I mean, crazier things have happened. So, do you want to start with questions or should I start? Because I got some fucking questions.
You got some fucking questions? Go ahead. All right, dog. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. You're gonna look so cute without a beard. I just want to say that right now. You're gonna look adorable.
We'll see. I don't look cute with a beard, without a beard, by the way.
Well, you don't look cute with one, so that's fine. You're not going
I knew that was coming. As soon as I said it, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I knew it was happening. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. But okay, starting with the first one. Why specifically did they think it was necessary to bring you to the county jail, or to bring you to the hospital? Because I've seen people have seizures in jail, and usually they wait it out. Were you just not stopping? Was it just like continuous to the point, or did you stop and then they brought you in?
It was actually I want to say it was my 3rd seizure, because the first time they just gave me Librium, I think, which is what they give alcoholics who are going through withdrawal. That's supposed to stop seizures. That didn't work for me, so I had another one. The second time I got taken to the infirmary there, and they gave me a shot of something. I don't remember what it was, and that calmed me down for like a day. But on the 3rd time, I don't really remember the 3rd time. I can remember kind of like the lights were bothering me, that sort of shit. And then like kind of bits and pieces here. And then I was just in the ER. So they didn't do it right away. They gave me multiple tries to take the medication or get it out of my system or whatever. But it was only on the 3rd time that they took me to the actual hospital, the county hospital.
That adds up, I think. I don't know, man. Because you really have to be having an issue for them to take you outside of the facility. And you know that. So I feel like you wouldn't push this story so hard because even this is an unlikely story. They don't bring you out unless they have to. And short of a heart attack or stroke, it's just, I don't know, man. I got to unplug my light so I can plug my laptop in because it's going to die.
Wow, that's really professional.
I know, it's very professional, and it's very unlike me, but I had my light plugged in here. So, okay, next question. What conversation did you and Chucky have prior that would have made you both say scurvy? Because that's not just something you say in response, at all. And you can't just convince me you both just thought of that. So what did you guys joke about it? Say, there had to have been previous conversations leading up to that.
Okay, so you've watched my TikTok. You know that a lot of me and Chucky's conversations are like me educating him on a certain topic. This came from a conversation that basically was talking about how Pirates of the Caribbean was so unrealistic. His main complaint that there weren't really many pirate bitches. But we got on the topic of how it was unrealistic, and I said, well, all pirates had scurvy, and then kind of educated him on the topic of scurvy from there. And it was kind of the joke at that point, back and forth. And also my teeth were wrecked at that time because I was, jumped out. But so that's how he knew where it came from. I guarantee that's how he knew, because he didn't know that word before I taught it to him.
It just seems unlikely that he would use that.
I'm enjoying seeing you struggle, sir. It is.
Well, you made it difficult this time. You really, last time the ballerina one, because as soon as you were like, that really hurt my feelings, I was like, he's so full of shit.
I've got feelings. Thank
Do
you.
you though?
Yeah, it's valid. I don't
Do
really have
you?
feelings. I don't.
Okay, so my last question. The guy whose sister was taken advantage of. Oh gosh, what are the sheer odds? No, that's my question. I don't know how you would answer that.
Yeah.
Why did he choose you to talk to? Was that just the sheer odds too, or like did you see him talking to other people trying to figure it out, or it just happened to be you?
He just got in. It just became chow time. I saw him. I was one of the ones that helped him with his mat when he got in.
Yeah.
Like when they do that. So I got to talk to him there, and I actually was the one who was like, "Hey, come eat with me. You're new." So it was just kind of a happenstance that I was chosen to help him roll his stuff up and get him a bunk and all that shit. So really no mystery behind that one, but.
Damn, you did really well today. All right, I think that's all I have for questions. I'm gonna let you ask questions, and if I think more, I might take back a little time to do that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, first question. When you fainted, did you?
Did I ever tell my third story?
I don't think you did. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. Tell your third story.
I was just looking at it here. Oh my god, we are so professional. So I actually had my work release taken away because I spilt hot coffee on a guard who came in to check on someone. My work privilege was taken away for a week because our showers were set really, really hot because we didn't have we couldn't heat up anything. We didn't have that in our pod. So our showers were set really, really hot. I made a cup of Billy Brew. And when the guard came in to talk to one of the older guys who was there, he kind of looked like Charles Manson, which was creepy. That's a whole nother conversation. But when he came in to talk to him about not taking his meds because he was an alcoholic who he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't take his meds, I bumped my coffee, knocked it on his pants, and he freaked out. And it was a guy it was a guard who never had issues before. He must have been just having a shitty day. But he went to the I forget what they're called, lieutenant. I think it's lieutenant of the jail, technically, is what their title is. And he went to him and told him that I did it on purpose. They must not have watched any video because the dude got my work privilege taken away for a week.
Yikes. Okay, that's a decent one because that's plausible. It's definitely a plausible CEO got butthurt about an accident and decided to rail you up for it.
Yeah, and it's one of the few stories that makes me kind of mad because I'm it was so stupid because literally we were playing at the table he came up to and I bumped it with my elbow. I see you're skeptical. I'm skeptical of you too, buddy. But skeptical of me. But yeah, no, I did bump it off the table and it got on, and it didn't even hit his shirt, and it hit his fucking leg. It was hot because I just made the cup, but
that's fair. That's fair. Okay. So first question: what color was your rice that you took from the kitchen?
It was white rice. That's all we had there. They never gave us any other rice, with any of our meals.
Okay, honestly, genuinely, I was just curious because we didn't have colored rice. It was clear.
Yeah.
that's how bad the show was.
Well, I suppose technically, yeah. I guess I didn't really think of it literally. I thought you were asking, is it white rice or was it flavored rice? It was just, it basically was clear now that you say that. But yeah, white rice, that's all.
Okay. When you fainted. This is gonna be hard, man. I don't like this. Okay, where was the mark on your head that you said?
Right on my forehead, because I literally I was playing cards and I was looking down at my cards and I just blacked out and I just
and what card game was it?
Euchre.
Okay, and you said that you had multiple times where this sort of thing would happen. How is it they weren't concerned about getting sued at that point?
Not multiple times in jail. It happened to me multiple times outside of jail. That was when I was just getting into jail. I can only think of the one, that was the only time it actually happened to me in jail, because you got to realize there was about 2 years where I went unmedicated. And so it was just, It was one of the, like, it probably happened to me half a dozen times, and one of them while I was in jail. And they weren't always like, if another one did happen in jail, they weren't always such a spectacle. Like usually it was like I would just kind of slouch over or something if I was sitting on my bunk. But this was like I was sitting at the table in the center of the pod. You know, it was like really public. It was like really like out in the public. What? I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss that one.
You're gonna look so terrible without a beard. It's gonna be amazing.
Okay, you can choose that one. You got more for me? Come on, I'm ready.
Okay. How is it that you had your work privileges revoked twice? One time with the rice story and one time with the hot coffee story, and you didn't get sent to like the hole or anything else like that?
Honestly, I think it's just because I didn't have any issues, and the lieutenant talked to me about it. And since it wasn't like just work privileges in the jail, I had work release, and they don't like taking that away because it allows the inmates to get out. And when inmates are in a work release cell but they don't get out, they start to cause issues in the cell, and that causes issues for everyone. They don't like pulling it from people unless they have to. And honestly, the people in my work release were getting caught for failed UIs and for like bigger stuff. I wasn't really like a big issue for them. Like the rice thing, you could agree. Once they decided that it was dried out and it was just inappropriate that I made the hacky sack, they didn't think of that as a huge issue. Whereas like the cop one, I think even with the CO, the lieutenant of the jail was just like, he didn't, even if I did it on purpose, I don't think he was severely hurt. I didn't attack him. The guy walked out without cuffing me or anything. So I don't think he thought it was a huge deal. So I think I got lucky, to be honest, because I did see people who would get it a few times and lose their work privileges, go to a regular pod. And I think it was just because my two things were so minor. Because the rice thing, it was 2 days off of work release. And it was just while they were trying to resolve it. So I don't even, like, it wasn't even the punishment, technically. Because it was just, that was how long it took for them to decide that was... Which one of you, Scott? You've given me that face with every single one of these now. I don't think you know. I think you're fucking weird right now.
I'm just looking.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not scared, dog. I'm handsome with or without the beard. I got no worries.
I'm a little scared. I don't look good without a beard. It's part of my hippie look, It'll
grow back in a year or so. I mean, it's only been like, what, a year that you've been growing that one out?
Fuck you. All right, we got about 8 minutes left, so I think we should finish up with any questions and start answers.
I'm gonna grab a piece of paper that I can write it down on.
Okay, I am too.
You're so screwed. You're so screwed, bro.
I'm not even scared because I genuinely don't think you know which one is which.
Go ahead. Don't be scared. Wait, hold on. I need a pen. I'll be right back. Entertain the people.
What? Well, here's another segment of Zac not being prepared for the podcast. You can join us again next week to see this inevitably happen again because Zac doesn't prepare for anything. He can hear me, but he can't defend himself. Zac prepares always. Exactly.
All right, so what are we writing down? The one that was a lie? Is that what we're doing?
Yep, write down the one you think was a lie.
Oh, the one I think was a lie.
Yep, because you're going to be wrong. I got mine written down, ready to go. I am a little nervous. I'm not going to lie.
You should be.
I'm sweating a little bit. Oh, gosh.
Okay. So we just to be sure, we write down the one that we think you're lying about, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am.
3, 2, 1.
You lost, dog. You lost. You lost hard. Did I win?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew it.
Story.
I knew it. Love it so hard. Love it so. You want to know how I knew it was the Billy Bruce story?
What was it?
Because there ain't a CEO on this planet who would not charge you with assault for spilling hot anything on you. Come on, bro. I've done enough time to know that. So have you. Come on now.
It's my birthday. Don't do today.
Yeah, I felt like I went too far with it, but now that you say that, yeah, I can see. What was your lie then? What was the one you lied about?
Scurvy. Are you kidding me? Scurvy. Really?
Oh,
Come on,
no.
bro.
It seemed too out there. It seemed, I guess, the seizures. Damn it.
Yep.
I'm so upset.
See, the best part about that is that it was half true. That we did make hooch. That was a real thing. And I've talked about it.
True. I knew that was true.
But so just to review, I get to keep this luscious beard. And what are you doing, Kody?
Tomorrow, when it's not my wife's birthday, I will shave my beard.
Mm-hmm.
Zac, my wife said you ruined her after birthday.
How did I? It's your husband's fault for being terrible at things.
No.
She said that's pretty valid. Oh no. Oh no.
Same with Zac till birthday.
This is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna love it. Hey,
I'm
but
gonna have to make a whole video. Should I live stream it or make a video? How do you want me to do this?
video. It's gotta be video. It's gotta be video. Because I have to be able to duet it and shame you. Shame you so hard. So hard. On the bright side, though, it probably will grow in thicker.
That's true.
Realistically.
Oh no. This is gonna be horrible. I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness. That was fun. And I'm looking forward to doing this again. For those of you who don't know, we are going to be going back next week to interviewing some people about, mental health and the prison system. But we are going to take some time to just have these back and forth with me and Zac. Because let's be honest, you're here for us, right, guys? That's what you're here for. Specifically me, but
yeah, keep telling yourself that. But we have had some really cool people reach out to us, like Matt from Matt's All Right, the Marine who does all the Marine content. Great creator on TikTok. He's confirmed with us. We also had Khalil Ray. He's another TikToker, also confirmed with us. So we have some really big names and some really cool and important people coming up. So I'm excited about it. Beard laws. How could you dare bet the beards? Well, we're savage, bro. That's how we roll here.
You know that I'm going to get a reaction video from Beard Laws when I shave my beard, right? You know that. It's almost inevitable when someone shaves a beard. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for coming and listening to the beginning of the beginning of the video too, because I know the content we started out with today wasn't easy, but it was necessary. If you didn't get to catch the beginning of the episode, I'm going to be immediately posting our audio onto all of our podcast platforms. So you'll be able to listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if you listen to us on any of those platforms, please leave us a 5-star rating. Tell us what you liked about the show. If you didn't like something, let us know. We probably won't change, but there's a chance.
Yeah, it's slim at best.
But we do appreciate you all being here, and we're really looking forward to bringing people back on the show and getting back to some of our other content, and we're looking forward to how things are moving in the future. I'm not looking forward to shaving my beard. Zac, I fucking hate you.
But I love you so very, very much, you baby-faced just gem of man. It's going to be amazing. Oh, it's going to be so sweet. I will say that I'm very glad that I won because I would have been in some shit with my boyfriend had I lost. Straight up. I'm saying that right now. I did not check with him. I didn't pass this with him. So I gambled and I won today. So go me. Go Zac.
Yeah, I'm the married one who's probably going to get a fucking divorce because of this.
Well, it was bound to upgrade. She was needed to upgrade for a while, so don't worry about it.
That's true. Yeah.
You're the boyfriend, but I'm the wife.
But yes. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It is I hate when this comes to an end and I have to stop roasting Zac for being old, but it is what it is. We got to get Zac to bed at a decent time. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Any last words, old man?
Brush your teeth. Don't drink caffeine after midnight. And also, guys, thanks again for being here. And thanks for listening to what we had to say at the beginning. You guys are great. We love each and every one of you. The support you guys give us both here on TikTok and other platforms. We could not ask for a better base of people to watch our show. So thank you.
So the last 2 notes here. 1, make sure you go check out our merch. And also, my wife is doing a birthday stream. If you want to come say hi and happy birthday, she will be on Facebook and TikTok. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And you guys rock. Like Zac said, we appreciate you all. Take it easy, everyone.
At me.